The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances. Now enjoy.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Oh,
Good.
I'm great.
How are you guys?
Good. How's your Tuesday been?
It's been cool, you know. Work,
Yeah.
and more work.
Pretty mellow today.
A lot of good stuff's happen after I punch out. You know, that's when I work on things that I want to work on, you know.
As long as you don't punch nobody out on the way out, you know.
No.
If you work at home, you only punch yourself.
Easy breezy. We home.
Right.
I just log off the computer and switch over to the other one.
See,
So Michelle, I gotta ask you a question. Wait.
The Rihanna song in my head.
All right. So, do you turn your computer all the way off, or you put it in sleep mode?
My work computer.
Uh-huh.
So technically, we're not supposed to shut it all the way down.
You gonna get her in trouble?
No, I'm asking.
No. We have to. The VPN has to stay connected.
Oh, okay.
Because in the event that they're doing updates, we have to get the updates, and then we restart in the morning.
Oh, nice. Because my computer
Which made me late today. Speaking of restarting this morning, because it did a bunch of updates when I restarted. I was like, so I was late for work.
See,
wow.
Yeah, mine goes off.
Their fault.
No, I told my supervisor, and I'm going to remind her to fix my time because I clocked in late.
Today was Windows Update Day because it took mine about 45 minutes to update today.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, mine.
Yeah, Windows.
About a good 8-9 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joanne.
What up, dude?
We have a bad habit of coming on the show like there's nobody here but us.
No, we were greeting each other. We said hi. It was all right.
Yeah.
It was safe today.
See each other backstage, right? Before we get on.
It's fun.
Right.
So, hey to everyone that's joining us. Welcome to Running with Scissors. I am one of your lovely co-hosts, Michelle, with the 1L.
I was waiting. I was wondering. I was like,
it was like
different? Right?
We're waiting for the 1L, dude. It's like
I was like, it feels like something else is happening.
Because I'm proud about how I spell my name. People automatically just assume it's two, but no, it's not.
Okay. And I'm Penny Owens with no L's.
And I'm Royal Gaines, RG, and I guess there's an L at the end of Royal. Not bad.
Okay. Good stuff.
And E, we come in hot.
Missing one. Giselle, he might be here. He just might not. We don't know.
Yeah. Wherever the wind blows, our brother shall be
wherever he is. You know, he's a busy man. He got a lot going on.
Oh yeah, you should have been here last show. Oh boy, yeah.
Oh yeah. And I missed last week, but it was a good show.
Oh, it's very, very good show.
I was watching.
See,
in
today's topic, we are going to do how do we reconnect with our roots and cultural heritage.
Juneteenth,
okay.
Ooh.
Okay, right. We still in it.
That's right.
Sure.
We never left it.
No,
that one.
If you missed our summit on this past Saturday, it was amazing. And
you missed some good stuff. Yeah,
we missed some good stuff. A lot of jewels were dropped. Great conversations.
It was
action
more
steps,
than just
all of that. You know, we ain't just talking about it, we're trying to be about it. So
right.
Get on board.
So
we strapped our boots up Saturday.
And if you miss this one, that's okay, because we're gonna have them every 6 months.
That's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say this will be an annual thing. The January will be our annual Freedom versus 40 Acres Summit. And in June, we will do our Juneteenth community building annually. Yep. So we just had we got the first ones out of the way. Yeah.
Yes.
It always starts with one.
So make sure you guys don't miss them. Don't miss them because it's great stuff, community building, because that's where we are right now. It's about community. So make sure you join us.
And we will never change our prices. That's $5 tickets.
Yes, that's our underground railroad. So you want to get in and see what we're talking about. You don't want to miss it.
Right. Hey, look, you can pay $5 for your coffee and $5 for eggs. Now you can pay $5 for your future. Okay.
I gotta bring coffee into this.
I'm just saying, no excuses.
At the Starbucks, okay, I don't even think we can get a coffee for $5 at Starbucks.
Probably not. It's how much $5 stuff left nowadays. Like it's
the hot red ain't even $5.
See,
go figure.
You don't have no what? You remember the $5 footlongs?
I think
when you say it like that, absolutely not.
From Subway, you don't remember that?
I do.
I think that's
but the way you presented it made me say absolutely not. No.
I just saw a commercial the other day. They got some foot long with nacho thing going on, but yeah.
That on board.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot of $5 stuff anymore. Everything going up. But that's why we need these conversations and action steps and accountability moving forward. It's rough in these streets. We all agree.
See?
Every morning. See, okay, Terrell getting is that the tall or the small? It's all the same, right?
No.
He said 539.
I'm about to say that's the smallest one.
No,
right?
they don't call them. They call them. They got different names for them.
That's what I'm saying. It might be tall, but we know it's still called small.
Grande and Venti.
Yeah.
If I said, what did I say? Verdi?
I was gonna let that slide, right? I was gonna be like,
I don't go to Starbucks.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's salsa.
Maybe.
It's the large. Which one's the
large? It's the large one.
It's just the large. It's just $5.39.
I'm about to say it's just the coffee.
Venti, yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the regular coffee with no bells and whistles.
That's right.
He said bells and whistles. That sounds loud.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Murray. We have been
updated. Exactly.
Now, all right. Now, how are we doing this today? We jumping in because the water's fine, or we doing the stuff on the internet?
I have one. We got to talk about this because I was just like, oh man,
sugar free vanilla to it. Okay,
that's all the fun out of it. Well, no, vanilla not even sweet for real.
But no sugar.
It's not even sweet.
Yeah,
fine.
So, sir, what did you see on the internet?
Oh, wait. Miss Olivia.
Crap I seen on the internet.
Man, I love our engineer. She's
one. Yes, awesome job. And Ezel would have loved that. It was so polite.
Yes. Right. Before we get into the
we
topic,
like our employees here.
We got to talk about some stuff. Okay.
Right. So
what happened? Now, what did we see?
Watching Instagram, and I come across this date in progress. The lady ordered a large meal.
You're echoing.
I'm echoing.
He's not echoing on my end.
I hear an echo.
I hear it. Yeah.
Is it me?
And no tell, it's technology.
Yeah, love it. But the girl ordered a large meal. The guy ordered his stuff. He went to the bathroom. When he came back, she was eating his food too.
Oh. And
she said, I ain't eat all day. He was like, how you gonna eat my food on the first date? She's like, this ain't my first date. So in other words, she's alluding to she just goes on first dates to eat food. She proceeds to tell this gentleman that he need to just be a man and pay for her meal, and he can stay or go if he wants to. As she was eating both of their food.
Oh.
This would be the last date. No,
and she would have paid for her own food. Did he leave?
It stopped right there. I was like, you know what? This is.
Oh, you didn't see the end.
No, I seen the end, but you know how stuff clips after that point. You just seen him responded, and it kind of just went off. So, but still, I hope that's an act because that's horrible.
And look,
but the unfortunate part about that, there are women out here that's doing that stuff.
I used to, not necessarily that rude, but I definitely would go out with folks I didn't necessarily care about because I was hungry.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say I've never went on a date. But that was rude though. She gonna eat his food and hers and be like, "Oh, you paying for it?" Come on.
Yeah, because he's like, "Why you eating my food?" Say, "I thought you was done." I'm like, "You heard?"
Well, he was done.
Yes. I don't know how I can go pee or wash my hands, and then I'm just supposed to be doing the whole circle.
Her mama don't feed her. Her mama don't feed her at home. Like
nobody feed her. She was smashing that guy food.
I would think that's the end of that date. I mean, look, because you don't need any more flags than that. She's inconsiderate. She's rude, right? Oh, then manners, just no. That's unsanitary. You touching my food too?
And one more thing. He's still hungry. He never got to eat. What did I just pay for?
Well, he don't have to pay for that. Didn't I say leave her bill and order something carry out
to go home? I saw one where a chick was on a date and she was ordering food to go for her kids at home.
I seen that.
That happens.
She like that was normal though.
Like I'm not
about to say, I've seen people do that a lot. I've heard people complain about that a lot too.
I'm not doing that. I mean, she can order, but she would be paying for it. Like I'm not paying for your.
She wanted him to pay for it.
And we're not talking Happy Meals. She was ordering like
steak. To pay for it.
Yeah, she's ordering big stuff like steak.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you want him to pay though.
I've heard that complaint a lot, actually, especially back in the day with them hood rats. Yep. Yeah.
Really upset about
it. But you can say no. That's the thing too. It's like I hope these fellas are saying no, or they're just like, well, I'm gonna make sure I get my payment back.
I'm not doing
I'm gonna make sure I get my payment back later on. But I'm like,
look, if he paid for dinner like that, he ain't getting nothing but a goodbye. She got him already.
One, is she fertile? You should probably leave her where she at. Don't play with it.
Yes. Wait. Jeff said somebody in the comments said that happened to him once. So what you do?
Nah. That's definitely crazy.
Yeah, there you go. Did you pay for it?
Pay for it? Or did you leave? What you do, Jeff?
No, that's crazy.
I know him, so I already know what his answer is going to be. Just wait to hear what he's going to say. Because that is so, like, are you serious?
Right.
I'm quite sure that was the last time, first and last time that we ever going to date. We're not doing that at all.
Man.
I think it's easy. It should be
that
easy.
Goes without saying. It should anyway.
Wait a minute. He said honestly, ... Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
So let me find out you feeding the babies at home too. Well, used to.
Let's hear it. You see me, I'm like, all right, let's hear it, dog. Let's hear it, dog.
Yeah, waiting
you might have still see the dudes that I've heard complaining about they had their own mission.
He said
no.
I was trying to hit, so
see, told you.
Wait. Did he? That's my question.
Well, did you?
Because it's mission accomplished if that was your goal. But if you just got left with the bill.
Okay, well now the goal was he had a goal in mind. You know what?
But fellas need to like update their system because that is a flag. She got baby father drama, pretty much. She got issues she can't supply for her children, and she fertile. Don't be rolling the dice like that before you be the next one in line. I'll be like, no.
Well, this is, this is the past. This is not now.
No, there's folks still out here doing it right now. Folks trying to get their happy meal on right now.
He said he did, and he put that sign up.
We'll leave it right there. Thank you, sir.
How many dates did they go on more dates after that? Like, did he keep bringing dinner?
I wonder. I don't know. Well, did you go on more dates? Did
you keep bringing dinner home?
At $200 pop, I'll pass. She talking about
you know what it was, or where it went now. And if the kids are, little, get them some French fries.
I mean, I would hope it'd be more. You see some French fries. I hope it'd be a little bit more strategic next time.
Split it. You corralling the bill? Like, what you talking about? Get the kids some French fries for dinner. Listen, so mean. God.
He said, "Look, he like, babe, I'll get you a combo C, but they just gonna have to get the extras, and they gonna split it.
Right? They gotta split it. Right? They gotta split it. We bought one big meal, and that y'all figure that out.
Michelle said fries. She didn't say nothing about no nuggets.
I didn't add nothing else.
No large soda, nothing. She gonna have them up in a small fry, 7 fries a piece.
I mean, I wasn't doing something like that on a date. I can't say that I haven't done that on a date, but I bought it myself. I paid for my own kids' food because I knew they were home, and I just brought. This when they were younger though, but I brought food.
Right, you ate. I don't want to cook. Bring
it. So I can't come in the house with a doggy bag, and they like, oh.
But see, that's respectful though. You're not expecting to pay. You know what I'm saying? No one cares if you order extra food to go. You know what I mean? It's a simple fact. You like, yeah, I just met you. Pay for all my kid food.
Yeah, all my kids' food. Just buy it. Yeah,
pass the salt.
Flag.
He said, nah, that move made me put her in a just smash category.
Wow.
So she wasn't even worthy.
Okay. It happens all the time. It's like folks.
I mean, I guess maybe she put herself in that position because it's like, really.
She probably got a line of dates to go out on, and she just, figured out what she can get.
Well, she might be.
She clearly wasn't new to it. She clearly wasn't new to it. Some of them kids might be Happy Meal children. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Not even a Wendy's biggie bag, just a Happy Meal dog.
That part.
Hey, look, because folks be gambling in these streets. It's like, really? You just trying to get a meal? You forgot to protect yourself? You got more than a meal. 18 years of food now. Like, folks they be tripping.
Mm-hmm.
So you see anything else you would like to share?
No, I think that was the most ridiculous thing I've seen all day. Pretty ridiculous.
Okay, well, awesome. So can we jump in now? Can we jump in?
We can. We sure can.
Yes.
Now, tonight's topic for those who just got in here: how do we reconnect with our roots and cultural heritage? I love the way that this one was worded, guys. Like, because it says a lot more than just our community, just brown folks, black folks, like cultural, the word heritage. And connecting, it makes you feel like that this is deeper. It's deeper than just asking who grandma and grandpa is. It's like, okay, let me do some real research and really find out who am I and where am I coming from. And so I love the way that was worded because it's just, you can feel that this is all right. This is intentional. And folks need to get deep because we got some real shallow folks in the information that we have as a culture is shallow information.
Yeah,
I know past like I never got to meet my great grandmother. I've only seen one picture of her. Okay,
right.
And I did have my grandmother, but we didn't live in the same town. So for me, my history was really just who was in my household. Folks don't talk; they don't share these different stories, and that goes back for a couple generations, especially from like me. And up, they don't talk, let alone me, down, us, and our children. If you don't know your history, then you're not sharing it. And unfortunately, as a Black culture, we don't talk. There's so many different traumatizing things that we don't want to share, and we don't talk and we don't pass it down.
I wouldn't even say that. How many times have you tried to talk to a youngster at your age, and you're not as old as I am? The older you get, the less they want to hear you. So, unfortunately, a lot of our history is literally getting ignored because the kids don't want to hear the old people talk. But that's where all the game is, hanging out with that older uncle and stuff like that. So, we're getting the stories, since most of the young people just don't want to hear it. Luckily for me, I was really close with a lot of the elders in my family before they passed away, so I got to hear a lot of stuff. And then when my mom started doing our genealogy, all those stories I heard that sounded actually crazy were actually real things.
Okay. No, that's cool. I think that's cool. See, you don't hear that. Like my husband, of course, he's older than me, but his childhood sounds ideal, like something I've only just heard of on TV. Like he still talks to all his neighborhood friends. Like they still communicate. Those are his brothers. Those are his sisters. You know, he knows both, you know, his grandmother, grandfather on both sides of the family. And it's like, I never had that. Never really had that. You know, like, and it's crazy. We find out more details after this
friends I grew up with. Yeah, most of my friends. Yeah, I still don't. You know what I mean? I don't say it's on a core few that I see all the time, but yeah, a lot of people I literally grew up with, we're still cool to this day.
That's awesome. And that's the goal. I moved around a whole lot. So I didn't even learn people's names. It was like, what's the point? I'm probably going to move in 6 months. So I really just kind of went to school and then I left.
Gave up.
It was like, there was no point. There's no point in bonding. I'm not going to be here. So, yep. I actually remember my pass through school, well, not even school year, but grade and state. Not the year at all. Just grade and state.
That's kind of dope and kind of like sad at the same time. Like,
no, but I didn't. One of the craziest stories I heard was my grandmother, and I just heard it. Like I just heard it. She said that her father had one arm, and I was like, how come I never knew that? Because like I said, I never met my grandparents, because apparently my grandmother, her siblings, I think were like 16 and 20 years older than her. She was the baby, so it was like a huge span. They were adults when she was little, right? Like, so we never met them.
In your family, holy moly!
Yo, right? But yeah, she said grandpa had a great grandpa had one arm. And I was like, okay, well, what happened? Apparently, the story that he told everybody was that I think it was like a fishing accident or a hunting accident or something like that. And it's a bold-faced lie. It's a bold-faced lie.
Okay, so what was the truth?
Yo, all right, the family, for if y'all didn't know. Ta-da! So the truth of it is that he thought that my great-grandmother was cheating on him, and in a rage and pouting fit, he tried to kill himself, but he missed, shot his arm off. That's the truth. So family, if you didn't know, ta-da! That's the truth. He wasn't hunting at all. He was pouting.
Okay, but he did get the girl.
I mean, he already had her, but he thought she was cheating.
That's like a reverse temptation. Yeah, that's a reverse temptation. My man just slept on the doorstep all night. That he shot his whole arm off. Yo,
but that wasn't even. But look, remember that wasn't the goal. But I mean, so he told the children that it was an accident because they trying to figure out where daddy arm went. And I'm like, see, that's the kind of stuff that happens a lot in our generation where something happened, they're embarrassed or they're afraid to talk about it. So they make up a cover-up story and don't ask any more questions.
But like being a bad hunter is like the worst idea ever. It's like you're skinny. You never ate a day in your life. You couldn't shoot anything but yourself. So I guess that's better.
Well, see, hi Michelle, I'm glad you're back.
Hey,
no, but a lot of things.
What happens when you leave abruptly?
but that's one story. You know, you have the horror stories that you want to kind of leave in the back. You know, but it really does come a lot where you find out that your cousin's not your cousin, they're your sister or your brother. You know what I'm saying? Or the stepchild is not really a stepchild; they're the secret child. There's so many different layers to Black history that they don't talk about.
Can I ask you about that? So, what does it hurt to actually leave some of those things in the past? Would it really change much? You know what I'm saying? If the kid grew up like in a really good life and no one said anything, that child would have went to their grave being loved. What would it matter to go back and say, hey, that's technically your mom, not your aunt?
But what if the child is not being loved? Like, what if this is a secret that everyone else knows but the child and they're treating them accordingly? Then what? You see what I'm saying? Like, because those kind of secrets, somebody knows, some people don't. But the toxicity is still there. So to answer your question, does it make a difference? I hope from this generation on that we are, one, responsible with our decisions so that we don't have to have dark secrets. And two, just be honest and definitely figure out which one is appropriate to share or not. But those secrets, because people can feel where you're like, I just feel like I don't belong. And you never know why until you find out, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff that I know just in my business that I've come across and have heard of, it's definitely a very, very thin line for whether or not you should be honest or not. But it make a lot of things make sense all of a sudden because you're like, oh, well, this makes sense now.
Yeah, a lot of secrets come out at funerals when somebody passes away.
Wow.
I know my family is filled with secrets, child. You know, things that I've learned even in the last year or so. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I found my grandfather had 21 kids. That's what we found at the funeral. Wow. He only been married one time to my grandmama, and we found out about 2 additional families on the other side of his phone. Wow. Look, so when he was tilling the land, he was sowing his royal oats.
He was sowing.
I was about to say, where did he work at?
The land, all right.
It's like, hey, I need his salary.
Watering and planting seeds.
No.
Okay, look, the funeral was crowded. We're like, who are these extra people? I don't remember him talking to nobody.
And he still had time to farm too.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
That's a tough dude, man. Hey, shout out. I said at a death to be like, ready to just take the day off.
In my 40s, that I had a sister.
In your 40s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, my dad was up, and she found my father because it was some secret that was going on that the mother knew, but it came. Those secrets, they always come out, no matter how long they come out. It was a secret that she thought that somebody else was her father. And her mother had kept who her real father was. My dad, I'm gonna give him a little pass, and actually rest in peace, Daddy, because today is the anniversary of his death. Today, right?
Okay.
He did not know, he knew that there could be a possibility that there was a baby, but the girl gave the baby to somebody else.
Okay,
that happens a lot.
So my dad was like, "All right, I'm good then." But his father got him up out of Dodge. That's how my father ended up in New York from Jersey.
Okay.
Because the father of the girl, if he would have found out, excuse me, that it might have been my dad, my father might not be here, and y'all wouldn't be talking to me.
Right. Unless someone Back to the Future, we gotta save you. Gotta save him.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, see that kind of stuff where it's like different poor choices leads to secrets, right? Yeah. Some might be minor, some you might be able to even get away with. Some might be better for the child or the parents or the relationship involved, depending on what that situation is, because there's a wide range.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it's going to do. You can make an honest decision just from the kindness of your heart, like really think this is the best thing I need to do. You don't know what that's going to do to that child
at that time, because she grew up not feeling like she belonged, a part of him. Yeah. And the problem is because he knew the father knew, but he decided to step in and raise her anyway. It wasn't until him and the mom broke up and he ended up getting married somewhere else, and that wife was like, you need to tell her, that kind of thing.
Oh damn.
You see,
and that's one of them things too, that especially when men step in like that, and they know they actually know the truth, and they step in, they deserve to be honored for that. Where it's just like, thank you, because you're doing an amazing thing. Like sneaking. Everybody deserves to have an option, but you got to be honest and give that person an option. It's like, I know that can be very hard in some situations. It's scary, especially with children involved. Right. Especially if you're dealing with maybe a dangerous person, male or female, and you want to protect the child and just kind of move on about your life, or just. I've heard some really, really interesting stories of why people make these decisions. And it's like, it's okay. You can make a decision, but owning up to it, it does make a difference in that child's life and their family's life. It does.
Because what if you end up with your brother? You know what I'm saying? Or you meet.
Y'all been watching a lot of Lifetime.
I
know somebody who went through that too.
This can happen.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo.
Look, this couple that I was friends with, I want to say this was in high school. I don't think it was college. It was high school. This girl was so caught up with this new boy that she met, they head over heels, all into each other's face all the time. And luckily, they hadn't crossed the line, but they had been in each other's face like every single day for like 3 months. And then the weekend they wanted to go see each other. Oh, I can't go because I got a cookout to go on. Oh, really? I have my family reunion. And as they started talking in the details, it was like, what? And what? And who, brother and sister, they was, her heart was
damn.
she really liked him, and they were this close to crossing the line. It was like, Daddy, why you tell me? Daddy had a couple of people all over town, never said nothing. That's crazy.
Always at the dinner table. Always at the dinner table. God,
that's scary.
That is crazy.
Yeah. They that is scary. But unfortunately, that is I don't want to say normal, but it does happen a lot.
Yeah.
But with what we're asking with reconnecting with your roots, it goes deeper than just what mommy and daddy did or didn't do.
Right.
You know, but with those kind of horror stories for like 3 generations, right? Where do you start? Because the lies is not going to be where it starts, and that definitely is not where it ends.
No,
you got to go further back. But you do need to have some truth there first. I think like one of the first points I wanted to bring up was just that you have to be open to what you're going to find out.
I got my second one is commercial break.
Well, all right. Commercial.
Or not.
Tap into your essence with a Divine Essence candle. Candles that soothe your soul and balance your chakras. Each candle has an affirmation inscribed on each jar to help you stay grounded, create balance and harmony. Use code DE20 for 20% off your first purchase at divineessence.us.
And we are back running with
we
scissors.
got one more. Just not even shameless, just intentional plug. Is your leadership team performing or truly thriving? At Penny Owens LLC, we transform teams from burnout to brilliance through our proven Truly You leadership system. From executive consulting to our powerful quarterly Empowerment Over Sacrifice workshops and keynote experiences like Depression Ripple and Purpose Power Infusion, we unlock clarity, resilience, and purpose at every level of leadership. Coming soon, our transformative online course, Truly You Transformation, designed for lasting change. It's time to build a leadership culture that thrives. Visit www.pennyowens.com and book your transformation today.
Man, Penny, that person, that commercial almost looked just like you. You might want to check that website out.
Kind of familiar.
She put it back. It's so funny. I love every time she put it back up there. It's like
I have to. I told y'all my yeah, last week when I was watching, I was like, if they don't change that thing back, I was getting irritated over here.
You know what? And it's unconscious. We actually think about it. You like Michelle wouldn't like this. Let's fix this.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's funny.
It's so funny.
So welcome back to the show.
In the chat, one person said, "Hey Jess," he said, "Start at the origin of our culture, culturally, roots and cultural heritage."
All right.
See, and it's like, where is that?
Huh?
It's like, and where is that? I mean, I guess
because some of us don't
assume that it's Africa,
and it's not.
But brown comes in so many different shades and countries,
well,
right?
You can always get technology involved. You know, they got the 23andMe, stuff like that. That can at least give you a basis where to start searching for your origin, stuff like that.
Do you trust those things? I'm just going to ask you. Do y'all trust those?
Well, I will say yes, because my cousin, she's like the one that does all of the stuff, the ancestral work for our family.
Mm-hmm.
She's used a lot of that, and she's connected with gotten a lot of information about family, and confirmed with some of the elders in our family. So she did use it, and it was a benefit.
I'm on the fence But I became a believer because my mom actually started searching our genealogy as soon as the internet got popping. We talk about 95, 96. And then when my little sister did her 23andMe, damn near 99% of what my mom found matched what was online. So I was like, damn. So, so that was impressive to me, So technology has come a long way since that point,
No, that's cool. No, I was always wondered about that, especially when they start being like, "Can you swab your mouth and send it in?" And being like, "Hey, I ain't trying to have no clone out there. I'm gonna need some answers."
Oh, yeah, that's true. We got to start at start in Africa because that is where the start of our civilization started. Yeah,
and I've heard people get like 2 different ones, ancestral back things, and then they say different things too, and that's why I asked. But if you guys have stuff that actually have verified, that leaves hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it starts there for sure. We gotta and talk to your grandparents, talk to the elders in the family too, because I mean, I'm older now, so I don't have that anymore. But when I did have that, I would spend hours talking to my aunties and everybody just to kind of find out more about our family. My mom's side, my dad's side, I don't really know much.
Right.
Okay.
Why is it like that though? A lot of times with the father side of the family, like everybody's connected to the
they're not involved.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Weird.
But the
my
ones
mom's
that
side wasn't that many people, so I mean, it was kind of one thing where, like it was my mom and her brother, and then they had a bunch of older cousins that were 10 to 15 years older than them. So it wasn't a lot of people my age, but on my dad's side, it was like we all grew up together.
So you were more connected to your father's side than your mom's side. See, me, it was the opposite. Yeah. My dad didn't have any siblings at all.
Okay.
Right.
But that's one of those things where if you don't, I agree with you, Michelle, as far as like asking questions, it's important because now, I mean, folks not going to live all the way up to like 80 and 90s. You're not guaranteed to have so much time, right? Like don't just time. But unfortunately, when they're not, you're a child, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. They don't give you a lot of wiggle room in some circumstances to ask questions until you get an adult, like until you're old enough to run, you know what I'm saying, away from that beating and something. But I know I got a lot of answers as an adult. As a child, it was like, we're not talking about that, or stay out of grown folks' business. You ever heard that one, right? Stay out of grown folks' business. That was the thing that I always heard.
And that's, and I mean, I get that to a point, but if you're going to tell them to stay out of grown folks' business, at least give them something. You got to talk to the kids. Tell the kids
circle back, right?
But we grew in that generation of, when the
what it is. Most of the elders will think we're never old enough to hear what they got to tell us, even though we probably heard it 1,000 times, just not from our family. But they feel like they're protecting this big thing that's kind of common. Yeah, it was probably popping in 1920, but now it's like 50 to 80 years later, we've probably seen it and done it before.
Listen, how much stuff I learned is ear hustling?
Yes.
Be like,
I think most kids do.
Right.
If you do it right, because they're not going to tell you, so just sit there and,
gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. Mind your business. And then sometimes I was blending to the couch, like, maybe they won't know I'm here.
Right.
And so somebody be like, Michelle,
especially if they drinking,
playing cards.
It's
right.
Over. It's over.
Then then if you do it right, you're gonna hear all kinds of stuff through the rest of the night. But I know for me for sure, when I was a child, I was aware. I had questions, and I was not going to be disrespectful asking them either. I just genuinely wanted to know for understanding purposes. And they really did a disservice not entertaining that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was mature enough to handle it, and it would have been just fine, pass the information on. I made sure with my kids, and I probably talked to them too dang much, where I was just like, I don't want you to feel like you don't know. You should know about your family. You should.
I think once they start asking questions, then you have to start giving them answers, not shutting them down. You know what I mean? They got to express themselves. They're asking for a reason. So they're asking all of these different questions, and we're just like, oh, no, you're too young. They're going to go find that information out somewhere else. And that might not be the best place for them to be looking for information.
I look at it like this. A lot of times as a kid, you're trying to figure out who you are. And sometimes a lot of the way things are explained to you can actually give you breadcrumbs of who you are. I learned a lot about my dad's childhood by the way he treated me. So he was into like, Tarzan and stuff like that. So he was a craftsman. So he literally made me and my friend wood swords so we could sword fight.
Right.
He was like, oh, I collected comic books. So he literally made me a pine box and we went to the comic book store and he filled it up with comics. So a lot of the things I learned about his childhood through the way he taught me, stuff like that. He was talking about the time when he had a slingshot and he knocked a squirrel. I thought he killed it and he took it in the house and the squirrel chased him out the house. That's why I couldn't have a slingshot. So I learned a lot of history.
Or a pet squirrel.
Yes. Thought he killed the squirrel, took it in the house. Squirrel woke up and told him a new ass, and he had to run out the house and get his dad.
That's so funny. I would love to hear that one.
When I was a kid, I got sent
like
down
that.
south.
You learn history through their actions. I was lucky enough for that.
Do people do that anymore with that? Because my mother would ship me down south. Me and my brother, we would go down south for the entire summer and be around my great grandmother and my family down there. So I saw another side of things coming from New York,
right?
But the South was different, real different. So that's a different experience. I don't know if people do that nowadays, like send their kids up there members for the whole summer.
I don't know if they still do. I know when I was growing up, especially on 95. You know what I'm saying? It was from the Carolinas to New York.
That's right.
Okay, that was the family shipping. So all my friends, they would do the up and down. And it was always crazy because sometimes folks would go down for the summer and come back 2 people. Like, who's that? Your little sister? Y'all bringing extra people back? Because they done went back down there and had a baby. Okay. Mom Deuce was like, oh, you can't do that here. We gotta go down to grandma's house. A lot of stuff was different sometimes when they came back.
The down south, they don't got a lot to do, so they,
Oh no, she was pregnant.
They don't have much to do.
That's so mean. They didn't have much to do.
Ain't much to do. So
I just no TV.
I mean, it's too hot to be outside. Be under the AC. The reason is because most men don't care about stuff like that. We as women care because of health issues within the family. I asked a lot of questions when I was younger and I was told to mind my business. I told my sons the truth about everything they asked about, but the answers were age appropriate. Agreed.
Got it.
Age appropriate.
I respect
we just telling our kids, where babies come from? Their kids, we asking, the stork brought them.
Yo, see, that's just the crazy stuff we be passing on just for no reason. Now, but one thing I learned, all right, so my friends and their parents, I got to see folks that was either raised by their grandparents or their parents were questionable. Like, okay, I see why this household is, in shambles a little bit. And it was just different. It was totally different. So a lot of the adults are not emotional intelligent at all. Like they have traumas that they have not healed from. They don't want to talk about, and then it trickles over. And then the rest of the world, the children and stuff, we're supposed to act like we don't see that or we don't feel it. We may not know what it is, but it's like something's wrong. And I know with a lot of men, I wouldn't even say that they necessarily don't care, but they weren't raised to be emotional and express that.
Right.
True. Men have a lot of stuff that they carry in silence.
Yep.
So
in silence.
And it's not just people, brown people. A lot of men are trained in the same manner. So it's very not even race specific about being that protector, stoic type of archetype.
Yeah, that's cross culture for sure. And that's the one thing. It's like when you ask your questions, because I definitely think that when people ask questions for who you can, because I think like right now I got one grandmama left. That's the only great grandparent left. No, I'll say 2, but include my husband's mom.
All of mine are gone.
2. That's it. Everybody else is gone already. And I'm only in my 40s, so it's like my kids are still young and they won't have access to it at all. It's just gone. So you really want to take advantage of asking some questions and simply just, where does our family come from? Because I know my great grandma was 100% Cherokee Indian. Grandpa was 100% slave. So that's African. And then just it's like, okay, so who else is it? Like my children, they're Jamaican, but their folks was Jamaican and Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Because of the pirates and stuff and the pillaging and things that happened. So it's like, you got to be open to what you're going to find, because we are all mutts at this point. Ain't nobody pure.
Right.
You got to do the research on
and
all
also
of
that's why family reunions are important too, because I know we used to do them all the time growing up. I mean, we had got out of the practice of doing them. We just did our first one a couple of years ago, and it was amazing. It was great. It was so much, and we having one this year in July. So I think that
it over.
And we talk about and we see who the elders are, but I think is those are important, connecting with your roots, because we came from somewhere,
right?
Family reunions.
And also we got to study our history. We got to study read books. You got to read some stuff. Got to read.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's so much stuff that's available, like so many documentaries out there, like even museums, just going to places and seeing, and maybe not necessarily our family lineage, but just in general,
In general. Yeah, because it still gives you an idea of how your people lived at that time frame, especially when you go to like an African American museum or any major museum that has any type of artifact. It says a lot about what your family did or what they were capable of being.
See, now, yeah, and just be open to it, because America did a number on us. They took our history flat out. Right. They stole our history and told us that this is where life started. So we don't even know about how we were kings and queens before. We just know it started as slavery. We genuinely, as Black people, we genuinely have no clue what our roots are. We really don't. So it's like when I would think to be doing the research, like you said, Shell, and be open to all of them and see what feels good. If you're reading about a particular culture and it's like, maybe that's why I always like my hair braided that way. Or this is why I'm attracted to that color. This is why I like this food. Because at this point, we have to educate ourselves on a really deep level, because we don't know. We don't know.
We know what we were taught, and we know what we learned in school.
And now we find out about what they lying about.
They was lying about, right?
And they're all of it, but right on.
Okay, just about all of it. That's not our, because the only thing that they taught us in school about our history was slavery.
That's it. That's where it starts. That's where it starts for us.
That's it.
Yep. They dropped you off. Truth. They made a cotton gin. They fought over y'all. And then Jesse Jackson ran for president somewhere in there.
They started us.
I missed a couple. Oh, and Martin Luther King had a dream. That was
right. Martin Luther King, and we didn't even learn about Malcolm X in school.
They ain't talk about Malcolm X like that.
Oh, because he was too militant. Oh no, we're not teaching these kids about him. Absolutely not.
And even with Muhammad, they didn't tell you about like how much he had to say. You just knew he boxed, and it was like that brother was deep. He had a lot to say.
Muhammad Ali was. He was tearing them up. He was tearing them up.
Yes, he was. He was. And I mean, and right now, like everybody in the audience, y'all think that we playing, but it's like right now, you guys are aware that social media is creating different lies to pass on, and they are erasing the truth as fast as we're putting it out. So that conversation, like right now, do as much research as you can, but really that word to mouth conversation with family and other people's families and the elders, like you better get a hold about that research in real time. You know what I'm saying? Before Parkinson's kick in and dementia, like for real, get it.
That's kind of where I am now. That's why I love watching Finding Your Roots, because the show goes into all of this and the takeaways that humans are humans from the beginning of time. And most of people's ancestors came from Africa. Yes.
Big time. Shout out to Maurice.
Yes.
Great show.
Yes.
Great show.
It's important. And then it's, you know what? There's only but so much of the root that we'll be able to really get to in our tree and in our lifetime. But as a cultural heritage, we should be creating our history in real time.
Right. Yes.
Like taking control of the narrative of how we want to be seen, how we be respected, and that we did not just start from slavery. We need to create that right now. Like there's no more time to be waiting for. We need to do that right now for our future.
We are almost the elders at this point. So the ones under us are learning from us. Hello, y'all. I mean,
Thanks, buddy. I was like, she's right. Damn it.
Michelle, something, and you too, RG, because you're right there, right? Something I saw on the internet a couple days ago, it said that in the second, the grandmothers will have face tattoos.
Oh, I saw that.
And look, you saw that? I was like,
it's true.
It's true. Yo,
but it's true.
Look, I love my mama. I love my mama. Mama, you know I love you. But she can still get arrested. No bull. She she cares. She's funny, but she is not your traditional grandmother at all. I told you, like when my kids was little, I let them go spend a couple hours at grandma's house. They came back with blonde streaks in their hair. I was like, yes. She ain't asked no permission. It's like, I'm the mama, you're the child. I don't have to ask permission.
Yeah, I'm probably not
to take them back, right?
Either.
I mean, but she's adventurous. She, you know what I'm saying? She has questions. She's inquisitive. She is not your traditional grandmama. Our family dog, his name is Dammit. His name was Dammit. Yes. She was
I don't know how I didn't pick that name. I'm so jealous. How did I not pick that?
My mother was like, I need to make something that makes sense. I'm gonna be calling his name all the time. He's gonna be running around. Let me practice. Let me see. Damn it. Sit down, damn it. Be quiet, damn it. Come here, damn it. His name is Damn It. Yes. I had to explain to the kids. My elementary school, my oldest, the parents was like, your son's language is just, it's not good for class. And I don't understand. He just keeps talking about this. And we were drawing and now he, his language. And I was like, well, you're drawing pictures? What did he draw? He drew a dog and stuff, but then he just started this foul. I said, did he say damn it? It's not a lie. It's true. That's the dog's name.
Now that's some good personal history, dude. Make sure.
Yeah,
that is some great personal
was named Damn It. Now that is hilarious to me.
Damn it, yeah.
Hilarious to me.
And it's like that's my children's grandma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like definitely the tattoos and things. These grandmas, our generation right before us, I guess right after crack kicked in, right? They really spent a lot of time about freedom. It was not about authority and being submissive. It was about freedom and doing whatever you want. All I would hear was like, okay, well, this is my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to be a regular traditional parent. It was like the traditional thing was done. Right. Like 80s, 60s, and 70s, done. Tradition's done. So now we're real creative with the grandmas. I mean, some of these grandmas, they shopping at Forever 21, like in denial. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so different. It's so different. Everybody
I'm gonna let y'all handle it because everything I was gonna say was just wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all cook with that one. Every joke I had was
but we talked about this a little bit earlier about like ancestry.com, but that's something that we do need to explore, our lineage. If you want to get
your
swabbed,
ancestor wore fitting clothes.
I don't know if you want to get swabbed, but check out the DNA. Because you like Penny was saying, okay? We are the elders.
Golly, an OG.
Does you guys feel like it?
But I don't necessarily. You know what? Because things are different. Like I look at my grandmother and them very differently because that was a whole different generation.
Yeah.
So, even when they was this age, it's like they could be your grandmother in this age, but they look older. It was different.
The internet. We have so much access to things that our grandparents did not have.
We have lace fronts.
We have I mean, our grandparents.
We have the truth. How about that?
Wigs and lashes and things back then.
Think what Patti LaBelle. I don't know what she look. She might look like Oprah when she go home, but you know what I'm saying. When she out in these streets, she looks great.
Well, see, that's entertainment, though.
And Patti got her little young thing too.
But that's entertainment. Yeah, she should. She's been rich a long time.
But I was talking about just makeup in general. That was you know what I'm saying? The stuff, like you said, the internet things, the stuff we have access to now, we're all like peers and no one really seems old anymore.
Excuse me.
I won't say that because I seen the Smokey Robinson video earlier when he was on stage. He looked old. It was
gyrating and carrying on.
Yeah, I was like off the stage. Look,
Smokey.
You should feel bad about them contracts, okay? Because they shouldn't be working no more.
Let me tell you, I'm thankful when I see the elders up there on stage still singing and still doing their thing. Like, I mean,
not just singing.
I want them to do it because they want to, not because they have to.
Mary, love her boots. She looked good. She can barely move. She need to sit down somewhere.
Go put some flats on.
She need to go, get back on power and to just keep pretending
to act. Get her a little high top sneaker instead of a little thigh high boot. Get a little thigh high sneaker.
She looking exhausted in them clips. And Bobby Brown gonna have a heart attack right on stage.
Bobby Brown's a legend.
He's good, but he is done, son.
He is. No, but he's actually looking a lot better than he used to.
Yeah, he had a really bad period, right?
He had a really bad period. I know he had that stroke and things, but he's really been working him. So I see him now. You can see the difference, which is good.
I wish he would talk and give advice, or I know he cooks. He got food. He just got a whole brand of food stuff. It's like going in transition, man. Hey, look, but he's still making babies.
No, Bobby's. I think he's done. The youngest, he got some smaller ones, but they're about 9, 10, somewhere around there.
Okay, I'll be like, if she don't get up on that's elderly abuse. Get up on that, man.
Well, I don't think they have it anymore. See, Bobby can tell you what not to do, though. He can give you a whole lot of advice on that.
Yeah, his whole. I mean,
a lot of us can, because I know I can too. Yeah, I know I can too. I really want to mentor young teenagers. That's something that I want to do, and I'm actually going to do something I want to do. I want to mentor the kids that are coming up now.
It's funny. I'm so glad that she's in you in therapy school and stuff, so you don't be trying to back nobody. These kids is different.
They are. That's what I said. I feel like I can handle them, and I can reach people. I do it to the adults. They all love me, so I can imagine what I could do with the kids.
You got a good balance, compassion in New York. You pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, like, don't try me, okay?
Oh my goodness, Nick Cannon.
That's funny, but we can't kill off Bobby Brown. He's only 56. He got to live a long time because we closer age than you think.
I saw an interview with Bobby. I saw an interview with Bobby Brown. When he said how old he was, it was like, ooh, dang, for real?
But
he was talking so slow and he was kind of so detached in the meeting. It was like, yeah, no.
And I also think Bobby's on medication. I know he got heart issues and he got some stuff going on.
But we can't be killing him off. That's too close. And he
probably smoking weed. I don't know if he smoked weed. Let me not say that because I don't know what Bobby doing.
The views and opinions in this podcast.
I don't know what Bobby do. I didn't put something out there. Next thing you know, Bobby didn't have.
But that's the one thing, because I think I seen, who was it? The Isley dude. What's his name? Is it Robert Isley? Ronald. He was literally on a cane and sitting down during his performance. If y'all don't let that man rest, no.
And he got a young son too.
See, but that's like society and those old contracts where they have to make some money. They need it just like we do. They're not well off just because they're famous. They need the money. But that says a lot about our priorities.
George Clinton was getting high and sold his whole Cadillac.
Yes, Mr. Murray. Okay. He got some post-cocaine issues too.
Oh, without a doubt. There's nothing that you can do that was harmful to yourself when you were younger that is not going to affect you when you get older. I mean, even if you stop and you get yourself together,
the damage is there.
It's there for sure.
Hey, youth, are you listening? Are you listening? Stop.
Yeah, I mean, so hard. A lot of things that I was doing, and they were telling me, "You better stop." Nah, please.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm. Arthritis is real. Okay.
Very much so.
I think
outside with no coat, so they say me, "Oh, you think you cute out here? You want to be cute outside with no coat on, right?"
Put a hat on.
That's look. I said they own.
Yeah, put a hat on. You're thinking, "Oh, they don't know what they're talking about."
And look, but in your 20s is the only time you can walk around like that because you're gonna be coughing in your 30s and 40s. It just kicks in all of a sudden. The knees just don't show up for work all of a sudden.
So, if you're taking care of yourself now in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, it's going to affect you. Trust me.
I told my kids, and that's not even just with like abuse and them drugs and stuff. Them folks that play sports that took care of their bodies, they got wear and tear from all that rigorous training and things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even have to necessarily be doing something bad for your body to be like, okay, all right, that was all I got. Stop. You know what I'm saying? That was all I got.
Yeah,
right.
But you do want to enjoy it while you're young. I told my children, I said, I'm reneging on everything. Somewhat. Beforehand, I told them that in their 20s, I was like, this is when you make your mistakes, you explore, you touch everything, you just get to know yourself and really find out what that is. But with the direction that the world's going right now, it was like, all right. So yes, while that all is still true, in your 20s, while you have your full youth, your full range of motion, your creative mind and purposeful and energy, figure out what you want to do and then start doing that. Like, figure out who you are and don't waste any time trial and error at a job you don't like. Like, zero in on your gifts and talents in your 20s so that you don't have to be still trying to figure it out at 40 and 50.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed. If we can get these kids to just sit down and listen.
Just a little bit.
Sit down and listen. But we have to be saying something that they want to hear. That's the thing. We can't just talk at them. We have to talk to them.
You have to listen to them.
And we have to listen to them. Absolutely. Because if they don't feel like they heard, they're not going to listen to you either. So when
I hear some of the most amazing stuff with the kids.
Right.
Like, they connect the dots so quick. Their processing systems is literally like the equivalent of AI to us. Their minds work fast. Now, common sense ain't that common, but their mind works fast. Right. They are not going to have the same challenges that we had at all.
True.
They might. Hey, look, they might have to do some DNA ancestrals to find out their perfect mate.
But do you think that the generations are moving further away from their culture?
So they're all going to be gray in a minute. All this mixing and matching and rainbowing and
we're moving further away from it. So we're trying to bring it on back. So what do we have to do as the elders?
Speak and listen. I'm gonna say to
the elders.
Yes,
that's weird,
but it's the truth.
Yeah.
We have to lead by example. We out here cutting up. I mean, do they have great examples? I mean, they do. I'm quite sure that they do. But real talk. So
what age does the elder? When does the Unc title kick in? Like, what age is that now? Because we are different. We are structured different.
I just seen this on the internet.
45 and up.
No. 45 to 55 was OG. And then it was like from 45 to 35 was Unc.
45. Okay. So 35 to 45 is Uncle. 35 is Uncle?
Yeah, I literally watched it earlier on the internet. I was on the internet.
35. He can't be Uncle.
I thought that too, but they're saying from 35 to 45 is Unc. And then it's OG from 45 up to like 55. Then when you pass 55,
there are a lot of women who don't want to be called auntie.
I didn't want to be called Grandma Diva. None of my kids.
Like, her name is Grandma Diva, but she don't. Nobody wants to hear it.
He said somebody been called auntie and uncle. They weren't even a full 30. They are not nobody's auntie. I mean, they might be somebody's grandmother. Stop playing.
Nowadays,
nowadays the aunties and uncles start. It does start earlier. Because I would say with my brother, I made him an uncle. And he was 13. He was already uncle. So it's like it is getting earlier
to connect with our culture. Teach our youngins how to cook. Connect with somebody. I mean, we can't necessarily do traditional because nowadays traditional meals is soul food and that stuff is not good for us. But sometimes learning how to cook traditional meals from our ancestors. Unfortunately,
but it's like, where is that?
They was eating pork, but we can't do that. But I'm just saying, I get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because I'm not going back to chitlins. I can't.
You're not going to go back to that, but
I can't do it.
Traditional meals,
all different countries, though.
Traditional meals doesn't necessarily have to be the bad stuff. Traditional meals could be family coming together, just having a meal together, sitting down at the table.
Holy moly!
It be like that sometimes, depending on the age,
right?
Because some of my youngest, they're uncles already. My youngest are uncles already.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta learn. Well, everybody can't be the teacher. I know Maurice because some of the teachers can't cook.
There's a lot of people who know how to order now.
And that's the problem. I learned by watching my grandmother in the kitchen, my mom in the kitchen. Right. I would watch and stand in the kitchen and watch my mother cook. That's how I
told you. I remember you saying that. But my generation, we was getting kicked out the kitchen.
I got kicked out. I didn't get kicked out.
We was getting kicked out the kitchen because one, the kitchens was small. We ain't had no room, and they was probably cooking. They was probably cooking more in the pot that they didn't want us to know about.
And I never stood in the kitchen because I would be on the outside, like watching, not in the way. Or then I would I would ask questions. My mother would show me, so I never had an issue with that.
If you can cook, bring your kids in the kitchen for you. There is such a beautiful moment when you put your child and stand them on the seat and let them like just kind of show them how to slice up the food, how to prepare stuff, even if you let them stir the Kool-Aid, they just be so excited to just participate. And it makes a huge difference when you just include your children. When you include them, and it's never too late to start. There's never too late to start. Now, see, just like I said, with the generations wanting freedom, I was allergic to the word tradition. Everything I did was whatever I created for my family as our tradition moving forward. It was not tradition. And that's what that's the power that we need to take back. Like, create your own. What do you want to leave behind with your family?
With your family, right. Yeah, because we carried a lot from, because tradition, like Christmases and stuff was a big thing in my household growing up.
Right.
But then now here we are, you can't celebrate it no more because then
it's pagan
holiday. You can't be doing all of that. And but
for those who care, you know what I mean? Because my thing is Christmas is still one of my favorite times of the year, regardless.
I love that time of the year. Yeah. I mean, even if we don't celebrate, like last year, my family was together and it was just an awesome time because that's the thing that we do growing up. My family was always about family. And for a moment, I got away from that. Because y'all know my mom passed away around that time. I got away from that. But now I'm like, I don't really care what they say about it being pagan. I get it. To me, it's just about family.
Yeah. And I would say this.
In those moments.
Christmas is the only time I see where people actually even try to be nice. Even if they ain't got it, they at least make the attempt.
And look, it's getting a bunch of money and all those different things. It's not about that. It's not about that at all.
But I think with the way that things are now, like we're still, I mean, you see how the beginning of this year has been. And you see how many things have already canceled Christmas with the tariffs and everything else, right? Just cancel Christmas. This will be even more so why it's really important to connect with your roots and decide what you want to do moving forward, because the world is changing in real time around us.
Right.
That part.
It's changing around us. So I don't think that this is the time to kind of play with it and take it for granted no more. I really think that time has ran up. It's ran up. Like, you got to be intentional and purposeful and really appreciate every single day. I don't think we can afford to take advantage of this time anymore.
It's so true. It's so true. And what about connecting through the arts? Like, that's a lost thing too. Like,
what you mean?
I would say yes and no.
Our culture through the art.
I have to push back, right? Because music has carried our culture way past where we could ever take it. And it's one of those things where I'm saying it's a good and bad, right? So trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. So a lot of times, like, our culture, like the music, our Motown tells our stories and they're immortal. So the stories live on through the music. Versus sometimes the spoken word or the written word gets tore up, but the songs still tell our story. And you can go to any random record store and you can hear somebody's history through the vinyl, through the old tapes, through the old media.
You have to search through it right now.
Vinyl and all of those things. I just bought me a record player recently because I want to connect back.
Come on down
and get me
some of the good music, right?
That was the good times for me. Just the sound of the record on the record player was dope. These kids don't understand that, don't know that.
You know what good music is now?
My daughter, when she was little, she saw a record for the first time. She's like, she called it a big CD.
Yeah, that's funny.
I respect it.
You know where you can find good music now, as far as in this generation? If you purposely don't listen to what's on the radio. If you listen to like underground artists or up and coming, or maybe like the first album of a new artist before the industry takes over, that's where you find their heart and the talent, and they still have stories to tell.
Agreed.
Right.
But if it's radio, then it ain't it.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just connecting through music. We used to sit in the living room and get all the records out and play records as kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not me about connecting.
I feel bad. We weren't allowed to touch none of that.
Y'all didn't do that?
Don't you touch that show. You couldn't even sit next to it.
And we would play our records.
Yeah, Mom would play vinyls all day from Saturday morning to Sunday night. It was vinyl running the whole time. The whole
now I'm gonna play music. I got introduced to my mother's music. Her favorite song.
So
really?
We do the 8 tracks. Oh, for sure.
Yep.
The records player came with 8 tracks in them, so you had to buy the 8 track. I hated them because you couldn't rewind nothing.
Right. Or half the song be on one side, go click, and then you get the rest of the song.
Click all the way through. Got to keep clicking over to get back to your song.
See, this is why this conversation is really important, because you just never know what somebody's been through, what they've been exposed to, who they are right now. Because it's like we're all connected and we have different stories and we have some similarities. Yes. And people that's why it's like that community and that conversation must continue. Like, do not fall for the trap of staying at home and just entertaining yourself on your phone. Right. It's like you're a complete stranger to the people around you, but you're interacting with people around the world. That's such an oxymoron. It's crazy. But just having these conversations, it's like you learn a lot because you really just don't even know what's not normal.
So
or what's different.
Right.
It's so true. That's why it's so important to get around your family, because when we telling these stories, the kids are listening. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, y'all did that, and they see you in a different way because they know you as mom. They don't know you as,
right, little TT and stuff, all your little nicknames.
And little Penny and little Shell and little RG. So we start telling you stories, the kids is looking, because my kids is be laughing. Like, what? You didn't even I love to see that.
My kids is petty. They be like, really, Mom? You used to, like when I was 4, I was swinging on the shower curtain, I broke my leg. It worked the first couple times before I fell. But the kids find out, they be like, so is this why you tell us not to play in the bathroom?
Yeah, right. No, my kids do that.
Well, breaking your leg is not a deterrent. I don't know what would be. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, yes, it is.
Everything wasn't always good. I did stupid stuff too.
It's like, this is why we talk to you like that. It's experience. We was kids too. Yeah. I wasn't born mom. But it's so different being able to allow them, like you said, allow them to see you as you. Because it's different. Them relationships is different. Now, like my brother be here with me. And even time when I'm with my sister, it's like when you're in those relationships with your siblings or your cousins, you digress no matter how old you are.
That's true. That's so true.
We get the pop lock and I'll be like,
yeah.
Hey, look, they respected me better till you came over here. They don't know about that. We over here with the silent broken stuff.
Right.
I get with my cousins. We start playing all the old school music. Like you said, we in the middle of the living room. We having dance battles and all kinds of stuff.
And they're like, Mom, I didn't know you could pop lock. Since when you knew the Tootsie Roll, Mom? You know the Tootsie Roll? Be like, mind your business.
Yeah.
Mind your business.
Yes. I had fun before I had you. I had fun before I had you.
And we can still have fun with them. And it's so dope.
I had you.
Yes.
My father, I was just talking to my father. He's like 63, 64. Mm-hmm. Through a conversation that I had with my grandmother, she used to say to my grandfather, I was like, how did y'all beat? That they danced a lot. That he would go out to the club. They would go out and date a lot. Mm-hmm. I repeated that to my father. He was like, whose fault? Who? My daddy? My daddy don't know how to dance. I said, have you talked to your mama lately? She said that he loves music. That was all he used to do. He's like, I've never seen my father dance ever. He said, now there was 10 kids. He was like, I guess by the time that we came, life must have hit him hard. It was focused on the family. He wasn't the only one that reported. It was like, I've never seen that of him at all. And I was like, this is why questions really do matter. Yes. It really does. It makes a difference.
I had fun before I had you. I stand on that.
I had a whole different type of life.
And a whole different type of life. Nothing personal. Just kind of what it was.
Yeah. You're here now. Like I said, they just see us as mom and dad. That's it.
It's good to spend that time with the kids. I mean, these kids now, that was one thing I really cared about working with the youth and stuff beforehand. And I just remember how it was when I was there. It was like, it was such if properly nurtured, the potential of the youth is unlimited. unlimited if you include.
We ran over. Peace, Cass.
But as always,
hey, Cass, right? No, it's unlimited, and that's you know what? That's the homework. That's the homework for all of us. We need to reconnect our youth and our elders before we lose it. That's the future, and that's the past. We need to do that, and I mean now. We need to do it right now because I don't know how much of this environment, of all that it means, that the elders can take. This is getting rough. I don't know how much they can take. So we really do need to like forget the past, forget what you're mad about. This ain't the time to be mad at family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Petty relationships. This ain't the time to hold on to toxic relationships.
There you go.
Like this ain't the time. And this ain't the time to be by yourself. This is the time to reestablish family and build that community. Real relationships.
Real connection and community connection too. Family and community.
Yeah. That's it.
We're gonna went over y'all.
Well, I'm glad everybody came and stopped by.
Great conversation as always, and we appreciate you all and thank you for joining us. If you like what we're doing, and
go to the website,
and you want to donate to the cause, please go to the UnitedFrontNetwork.com. There is a donate button on the website, and whatever you
push all the buttons. We have all the podcast shows are there. Our merch is there. You can come and wear.
Everything is there. We got everything.
Okay, come be a part. We are all about community building. If you want to be a partner, if you want to be a host, if you want to share resources, this is the place to do it. Okay, we are not about to be out here just pop locking, having fun, and not educating.
And educating the people. So, but all proceeds go to the operating cost of running this network because it takes you guys to make this thing work. And without you guys, we wouldn't even be here.
Oh, one more thing. Also, if you need help, we also have a resource page also linked to our website. So substance abuse, anything. Right. Go to the website, a lot of resources. It's updated daily because we get a lot of requests. So if you need help, also a great resource, go to our website.
And also, the network is growing. If you have an idea for a show and you're thinking about doing a podcast or you want to be a guest on any one of the podcasts that are on the network, send us an email at weareunited@myyahoo.com.
All right,
looking forward to it. We got one last show before the season ends.
Yes.
So see y'all next week for that one.
Yeah, next week we got one more show left, and then
before the season ends. But we coming back, y'all. We not like it's temporary. We coming back.
We coming back. We coming back.
We got to recharge the battery.
They can rewatch everything on our YouTube page and the website. The website is the go-to. Push all the buttons.
This is 6 seasons in. So if you missed, we got a whole lot of shows. You can go back and just catch up on them.
And you can connect. You know what? I never thought about it, but you can connect with our direct pages when you want to learn more about what you see and who you see.
Absolutely.
Push everything.
But
thanks for coming, everybody.
Next week. Peace and love.